Hi, so I'm joined by Mohsin and Sheena, the co-founders of Change Ahead, and we're here to talk about digital change for good. And we're going to start off in a minute with talking about what Change Ahead is, but I just wanted to read out some facts that I've seen on your website, if you don't mind, guys. And they were quite hard-hitting facts. So the first one was 8 million people in the UK are one paycheck away from becoming homeless, which is quite a scary fact, especially right now with what's going on. And 324,000 people are in the homeless system. It's quite staggering, really, isn't it? Those numbers.
Yeah. That's it.
So yeah, I just want to start off with just if you could just tell your story of about Change Ahead.
Yeah, I think thank you for the introduction. Thank you for the invitation. Andrew, those facts are the things that drew us to where we are today. And I started off my journey in property and finance, so over about 30 years ago now.
Yeah.
Property finance, got into healthcare, looking after adults with mental health and learning disability. That was about 2008 time. Mm-hmm. So about 12 years. Now, those are my kind of business kind of background. Plus, I've done a lot of volunteering. West Yorkshire Police for about 6-7 years when I was much younger. Right now, I do a lot of mental health work, helping crises, Shout text line. And as you can imagine, with COVID right now, there's a lot more busier.
Yeah.
People literally coming on wanting to commit suicide, feeling very anxious and depressed, and all those type of things. So that's another thing which I'm actively involved in. With that, also I do volunteering with Olia, which is a food sharing app. Again, it's community-based, volunteering-based, and that kind of helps me understand more about who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And having those kind of experiences, having those kind of business experiences, and being fairly successful, I'd say, within property, ended up getting divorced. A bit challenging, to say the least.
Yeah, I can imagine.
As you can imagine, happens to most of us now.
Yeah.
But it left me a little bit, feeling a bit down. I'm thinking, okay, I've done all of this. I did it all for the right reasons, but I didn't feel as I was successful. Or why did I do it? I went through depression myself, suicidal thoughts. I ended up with being bankrupt, and I felt a bit deflated. And I kind of brushed myself off a little bit. Found looking after my health was important, which I neglected for many years. And putting all these things together, mulling them over with time, I met Sheena. And together we came up with something which was quite profound. It was what actually makes the world tick. And what we realized, it is community, it is volunteering, it is making a difference, it is helping people who can't help themselves. And she has an amazing corporate background, because mine's all kind of running businesses.
Yeah.
Myself. So that's kind of how it came about. And together, then we came up with this new concept. But because I love tech and marketing and advertising, I thought, how can we put all these things together in one pot, come up with something which actually changes people's lives? Hence, Change Ahead. The business is called Homeless to Wellness, and the brand is Change Ahead.
Yeah.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, so just leading on from that, when I met Mohsin 3 years ago, I was actually inspired by his journey, his experience, and that made me think that there could be something more meaningful and purposeful to do with my career. And so when we put our heads together and came up with Change Ahead, here we are a year later, where we became a social enterprise. And now we're focusing on poverty alleviation to prevent and support homelessness. And we're, like Mohsin mentioned earlier, it's all about bringing communities together, and it's creating that engagement by using tech for good.
Yeah.
And so here we are. We are currently at the pre-launch kind of growth stage, We are developing ideas, we are building resources and testing our business model. And as Mohsin mentioned earlier, we are developing an app, and that will kind of bring in that systemic change in helping society improve their overall well-being and addressing those individual needs through tech and looking at the resources in our communities and repurposing that as well.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
And what do you think the biggest challenges are in society right now around this subject?
Right now, I think it's like standing in the street shop. There are too many options. You don't know whether this is the right one or what I should do here. Okay, I go and sort this bit out here. Everyone is good. Everyone has great intentions, the charity support group. But the problem is everyone's working in silo.
Yeah.
It's all about their charity, their organization. It's about me, with a greater respect. So what we're looking at is bring them together in a holistic solution where the client becomes empowered for their benefit. It's about them. So we're turning it around.
Right.
To make it about them.
Great stuff. And what's the goal? Where do you see yourself in the kind of next 12 months to a year, to 18 months maybe?
So we're looking to launch our app in October. So between now and October, we're trying to try and grow our following and our social media engagement as well. Today, we're very much focused on organic growth through all the social media channels and just building that relationship with all our stakeholders. And so that when we come to launching the app, people are familiar with what we are about and how they can get to the support that they need based on their individual needs. And so this time next year, obviously, we're looking at scaling up and launching this app to further countries as well, trying to reach out globally as well.
Yes, great. One of the things I read on your website was that you're looking for mobile devices for every homeless person and connecting them so they've got social support. And I think I really agree with that. I think technology is almost like a basic need in society now. So all the three key areas that you're looking at in employment, housing, and mental and physical wellness, having a mobile phone just seems like that basic necessity. How does that come into play? Maybe you've got some stats around it. Do homeless people have mobile phones? And maybe you could just tell me a bit more about that and where you see that happening.
Yeah, homeless people do have mobile phones. They're not smartphones as you and I would know and use and experience. The challenges around that is things like theft, security, value. There's a value associated with them. And so with that, we've already spoken to a few mobile phone suppliers and manufacturers where we can actually create a product which is focused on biometrics. So it has no commercial value, but it has value to that individual.
Yeah,
right?
That's amazing.
Yeah, so they can get involved. They can help change their lives, and we can help together as a community for that to happen.
Yeah.
Homeless people are a big sector, and we can help them. Plus, like you said earlier, there's about 8 million people one paycheck away. Now that was before COVID.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, you can just times that by God knows what. We don't know yet, but we'll soon find out as the dust settles. And it's that sector, I think, to help them stop sliding down that slippery slope, becoming homeless. That's what we need to stop. Because easier and cheaper and healthier to stop people there rather than going down and then trying to crawl back up again.
Yeah.
You see? So that's the main focus.
Great. And how, I mean, we mentioned social media. How is digital marketing affecting your organization? I suppose you've got the app and social media. What is there any other areas where you think digital will have?
Yeah, well, at the moment, while the app is being developed, we're really focusing on our organic growth through all the social media platforms, and that's reaching out to people with similar views and interests as us as a social enterprise, that where we all have a shared vision to make a difference. And it's using that power of free organic growth, organic marketing growth rather than paid marketing, that allows us to really grow our followers and our volunteer base and creating that engagement. Because now that we have various social media channels, you can have a more targeted approach with your marketing, because every audience is different depending on what social platform you're on. So with digital marketing, you can really create a more targeted experience and create that personal engagement. So that's the benefits of our digital marketing space today.
Great. And what can businesses do to support social change?
Businesses basically can collaborate.
Yeah.
Again, the same challenge as charities. Everyone works for themselves, for the bottom line. CSR is a huge corporate social responsibility. You can see that in action today. Before COVID, it was a theory, right? It was a policy that was created and placed in most companies to make it look good and feel right, right?
Yeah.
Today you see in action. Burberry are creating PPEs as well, so many other organizations. And that is true corporate social responsibility being seen by all of us. So it's basically that was the vision back then, and we see it in reality today. Hopefully we won't forget what we've seen, and that will continue to grow as a norm.
Right.
Yeah, businesses. I was just going to add that it's all about collaboration. Businesses need to feel that they are part of the community, that they own those projects too, and that they are together repurposing those resources such as goods and services, and making sure that they are no longer operating in that silo mindset, but like Mohsin said, in a holistic view to make a difference.
Great. And what success have you had so far? I know you haven't properly launched the app or anything yet, but what successes have you had so far?
Yeah, we've been designing the app for quite some time, and now we've got to a point where it's actually in that process. We have the actual product live. We're just rebranding it and getting it ready for a UK launch for World Homeless Day.
Yeah.
It's actually been recognized already by the UN for its humanitarian benefit. That's how useful and powerful this particular app is.
Yeah.
In this version 1. But what our vision is adding on AI, machine learning, blockchain to make it much more valuable. But even as a version 1, it really will be a game changer for sure.
Fantastic. And also some quick fire questions now. So what brands are inspiring you right now, and what are they doing right?
So there are 3 brands actually that come to mind. Olio's one. It's a community-focused app. It's driven by volunteers that go and collect food from businesses and kind of distribute that to local communities. So that's a way of repurposing resources and eliminating food waste. And then the second brand would be Change Please. They are a coffee company, ethically sourced, and they hire the homeless people. They give them a job and somewhere to live. So that's giving them hope and a purpose and a home again. So that's quite inspiring. And the third one I would say is Beam. They are a crowdfunding platform, and they too help the homeless people reskill and find a new job for them. So those 3 really are inspiring companies out there today.
Really good examples. Where would you point people if they wanted to read more about this subject or be more informed? Obviously, your website straight away is a very good starting point. But is there anybody else talking about this in a digital format as well?
I think people are talking about it, but on, again, a silo. It's about what they specialize in, where we are a specialist, but on a general conversation. So we specialize in social impact, but generally. So one of the best things I honestly think is that they can join our newsletter and have updates where because we are collaborating with all organizations who actually make difference, then they can decide which is better for them. And again, through the platform and the app, if they register themselves when it's ready, it will help them find the right thing for them in their local area. That's how intuitive it is.
Great. And if organizations were to kind of collaborate with you, where do you think you really need the efforts, and where should people be spending their time?
If organizations were to collaborate with us,
and work with you, where do you think you need the most support?
Right now, because of where we physically are, where from concept to physical, creating a brand and identity, sharing the word, that's where we are today. And we actually have a physical product, which is actually in development, ready to launch in October 2020 on World Homeless Day. So we're fine with that, okay? So the gap that needs filling between now and then is working on solidifying the team. We have over 13 volunteers right now from marketing, advertising, tech support, all sorts of things. We're focused on grants at the moment to give us some liquidity to be able to employ a full-time team.
Yeah.
To then complement the launch date. So that would be helpful if we can have more support, more help, more volunteers for that kind of time frame.
Great. And I've been looking forward to asking you guys this question because there's I think you've got a really powerful message. So if you could both answer, it'd be great as well. If you could place an ad anywhere in the world with any message on it, where would it be and what would it say?
So
Yes.
yeah, go.
Go on, ladies first.
Shall I go first? Okay. Well, I would have placed the ads across train stations and trains. And the message would be kind, compassionate, and empathetic to shape the world around you.
Fantastic.
Very good. Personally, I'd go for Super Bowl, the advert in Super Bowl. It gets the eyeballs, number one, from a technical perspective. And secondly, it'd be similar to Sheena, actually. Empathy, be kind, compassion, and empathy. And if you're running a business, if you have those kind of values, you'll have a greater, more successful business because you'll be thinking of other people besides yourself. Yeah,
definitely. And I think during this crisis, just to kind of echo that, the brands that are coming off really well, the ones that seem genuine and actually are making a change for good. So yeah, definitely. Where can people find you if they want to hear more about you? And do you have any requests of the audience?
So you can find us on changeahead.org.uk, and all our social media handles are there. And you can follow us, register on our newsletter for updates as well. And as Mohsin mentioned earlier, what we're looking for is volunteers. Between now and our launch phase, we are still trying to solidify that launch, and it would be helpful if you do have that experience and skills that you could just bring to the team today that help us while we go through the grant application process.
Fantastic. And my final question to kind of end and wrap up, if every brand could and every company could work together on this issue, what would make everybody excellent at doing this? What would be the key thing that people can do?
I think the key thing that people could do is basically collaborate rather than focusing on that silo mindset. Ultimately, as I said earlier, be it a business, be it a charity support group, everyone's about me, you know?
Yeah.
Even us as individuals. But COVID has helped us realize we might be saying that, but when it comes to the crunch, actually, we are different. We actually say one thing but do something else, right?
Yeah.
So businesses have proven that, as we just discussed, and volunteership has proven that. When the government asked for people to join the NHS on their volunteer response team, I think within 24 hours, we had 405,000 people sign up.
Yeah.
And we went to about 200 to 250,000. Now there's over 1 million people who are volunteers wanting to help other people. So I think we as humans, when you actually strip down all that noise and marketing and materialistic and things and everything else, we only need simple, basic things. And we within us to actually do that, as we've shown and we've proven.
Thank you. Well, thank you both for coming on. I really appreciate your time, and yeah, just a thank you for everything you're doing. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic, and I wish you the best success. Is there anything else you want to add before we leave?
No, just thank you so much for inviting us. It's given us a really good opportunity. You are probably our second podcast interview, so we are very honoured. So thank you.
Well, thank you both.
Thank you very much for your time.
Cheers. Thank you.
Let's speak soon.
Bye-bye.